can feel the love and the joy radiating throughout this space already, and we have just begun our day together. My name is Sona Desai, and I'm still getting adjusted to using this microphone. I am co-executive director of the San Diego Food System Alliance, and I am honored to be here today with you all to mark our 4th annual Food Vision 2030 gathering. I'd like to begin by offering our gratitude to Naruwan Taiko for the lovely, joyful, and lively opening. We are so excited to have you all here with us today. We chose Naruwan Taiko for the opening ceremony because they deeply embody this year's annual gathering theme of cooperation. Their name, Naruwan, is inspired by the indigenous Taiwanese Ami greeting, which means welcome, for we are all in the same family. I love that. Welcome, for we are all in the same family. An ancient Japanese art form, taiko is practiced by a variety of peoples and cultures and is known for reflecting values of teamwork, creativity, and cooperation. Taiko drumming offers a sense of unity, a feeling of being united in rhythm, movement, and spirit. This is the embodiment of this year's annual gathering theme. So thank you again to Naruwan Taiko for your joyful sounds and spirits, for bringing energy into this space and this morning, and for sharing the beauty and possibility of cooperation. Thank you. And welcome to all of you. Thank you for choosing to be here together in community. It is clear that the movement to cultivate justice, fight climate change, and build resilience in our food system is growing. It is heartwarming to see so many familiar faces. It is equally wonderful to see so many new ones. Whether you have been attending the past several Food Vision 2030 gatherings or this is your first time, welcome. We are so happy that you are here. Our hope for today is that everyone feels welcome and safe, and that we all are offered beautiful moments that linger, where we feel deeply inspired, connected, supported, restored, and loved. We'd like to begin our day together by grounding in this current moment and this space. I want to welcome my colleague, Margaret Chu. Many of you know Margaret. Margaret is the Communications and Storytelling Director at the Alliance, and she has offered to lead us as we acknowledge the land and original peoples of this region. And with that, I'll pass it to you, Margaret. This is a little funky.
I see that. Thank you, Sona, and hi, everyone. It's my honor to be here. So we all have a common relative here today, and that is the land. She's here, she's alive, and she remembers everything. The land experiences everything that we experience, and as humans, we are not separate from her. Let's not forget that. For thousands and thousands of years, since time immemorial, the Kumeyaay, Luiseño, Cahuilla, and Cupeño peoples have lived here with this relationship in mind. We, who are non-natives, are but a speck in this timeline. We just got here. We have so much to learn. What an opportunity it would be if we could just step into that role with grace and humility. Where we sit today is full of Kumeyaay, Luiseño, Cahuilla, and Cupeño stories. Where we live, where we farm, and where we fish are full of that history. Are we listening? Where we sit today is where the original ocean, mountain, and desert peoples lived. These tribes and bands numbered in the tens of thousands. They lived on millions of acres, from north of Oceanside to Baja, from the islands to the sand dunes, on both sides of the border. They migrated and moved around freely with the seasons. They harvested yucca, sugar bush, pine nuts, jojoba, acacia, chia. They thrived here for generations. Today, in spite of so many efforts to extinguish this ancient and brilliant culture, we're so lucky that traces remain. There are physical traces. The Kumeyaay Highway, Highway 8, it follows an original native trail system, a walking path for trade and migration. It now goes through the Viejas, Cuyapay, La Posta, Manzanita, and Campo reservations. Remnants of these trails still exist. There are names. La Jolla came from the Kumeyaay word Matkulahui, the place of the caves. Tijuana came from the Kumeyaay word Matijuan, which means the land by the ocean. And of course, there are the people, descendants who carry with them that generational wisdom and deep relationship with the land. We're honored to have some of these people here with us today, and thank you all for being here. To acknowledge their presence, their wisdom, and their birthright to the land, that is the least that we can do. Genuine relationships, learning, and repair are more fitting. I'm going to end this by thanking Dr. Stan Rodriguez for teaching me those Kumeyaay names. And you're going to hear from him next with a blessing for us today. Dr. Stan is the director of Kumeyaay Community College, where he teaches the language, history, and culture. He's a tribal elder who walks many worlds, and he's an elected tribal council member of the Ipai Nation of Santa Isabel. He's beloved by the community, and thank you all so much. So here's Dr. Stan.
Thank you very much. I need to correct you. I am not an elder, okay? I know I look rough. Life on the res is hard. A 23-year-old should never look like this. But just wanted to say before I say this prayer, these words, that you hit on something. Our relationship with the land and the things that were said, that we as natives, we used to harvest, we used to do these things. We used to pick yucca. Yeah, we used to do it. And then we'll do it later on. We've done it in the past, we do it today, and we continue doing these things. You have many people here who are sitting here today who actively go harvesting pinyon, acorns, which are going to be harvested soon. How many of you ever had acorns? How many of you ever had it after we leached it? I know some people can do it kind of rough, but, you know, and that's where knowledge, we share knowledge with each other, we all learn. Like I said, before I say these words, how many of you are native people? I see some over there, here with the sunglasses and everything. All right. The rest of you are not native. All right. Look at me. Look at this hand. You're all native from somewhere. It's just that fire has gone extinguished. When you reignite that, that's when you grow. Matao, ma'at, cha. Your mind, your heart, your body. Because you've been taught that this land, nature, that we are separated from it. In our indigenous ways, we are not separated, we are part of this. The trees, the animals, we are an animal too. They are our relatives. And when we change that mindset, we change the way that we view the universe. Because in the end, we are all energy. And when our matao, when our body leaves us, that energy continues. Where do we go? So with that, I'm going to say these words. And I'm going to talk in American. Then I'll change over to English. Okay? Amaya hanapao. Pil nya way kamech payim. Nikatos, Enya Kawakawi. Yea, Mayamut. Sepul Kim, Yep Mat, Yaja Ham, Yep, Ipat, Nawait Wit. Nyaway Kuchumayo, Nyaway Koyo Wab. Mayum Yaway Wayupi. Napamakana, Mamle Marab. O Hayi, O Hayi Nimaha. Napo Mayum, Nyaway Wit Nepte. Nya O Yao. Nyaway Puking. Pugnajit Mayum Puking Umau. Nyaway Wit Mau. O Hayi. And what I said was, Creator of all, I thank you for this meeting place that we have, that all of us coming from the north, the south, the east, the west, into this place. We come here to teach. We come here to learn. We learn from each other. When the Creator made all of us, the Creator made us like cups. But we are empty. We need knowledge to put in, but we have the capacity. When we teach each other, we fill each other's cups. And then we take home. And I ask the Creator to bless us all on our journeys. As we pass this knowledge to others, then we all grow, because knowledge without sharing is not really knowledge. So I ask the Creator to bless us all today, and for the land to watch over us and to heal us from things that we are struggling with, and help us to grow as we continue on this incredible journey that is called life. Ohio.
Thank you, Margaret, for naming what must be named and for honoring Kumeyaay, Luiseño, Kawia, and Cupeño people and land. And thank you, Dr. Stan Rodriguez, Kumeyaay culture bearer, I was going to say elder, culture bearer, for your wisdom and for the sacred blessing. Thank you. Reflecting on the words and prayers shared by Margaret and Stan, we are reminded of how we are all connected, of all our relations, of our shared humanity, and how the health and well-being of one is intimately bound to the health and well-being of all. As a society, as a world, we have strayed so far away from this way of knowing and being. As we gather in community and share in this beautiful space together, we cannot ignore the deep suffering, sadness, and heartbreak around the world. We cannot ignore lives being lost, cultures being erased, and wars raging. We cannot ignore the desecration of democracy and our uncertain future. As we name and hold these truths about the current state of the world, let us also hold the transformative power of relationships, community, and love. Let us hold both shadow and light, as well as the spaces in between. Let us be real and bring our whole selves to this space today. Let us lean into the possibility and magic of being together, learning together, and working together to build a world that provides healing and nourishment to all. Every year, we reflect on a theme that helps bring this shared vision of a healing and nourished world to life. The themes from previous 3 gatherings were formation, belonging, and kinship. This year, the theme is cooperation. Cooperation is more, much more than an economic business model. It has significant cultural depth and profound ecological importance. It's the most fundamental behavior in nature and an ancient human practice. Cooperation is the brilliant way that our planet, a diverse, interdependent, cyclical, beautiful community of life, persists. To further ground us in this year's theme of cooperation, I want to welcome Mai Nguyen. Mai is a cooperative developer, farmer, activist, partner, mother, and very dear friend of mine. Mai has generously offered to share reflections and speak to our theme of cooperation. With that, I'll pass it to you, Mai.
Thank you, Sona. Thank you for that generous introduction and inviting me here today. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for gathering today to talk about important life-sustaining topics of food and cooperation. While it's obvious how food is essential to our existence, so too is cooperation. A moment ago, the taiko drummers reminded us of the cooperation to create synchronous sounds that move our souls. Stan's blessing reminds us of the need to increase cooperation to sustain indigenous cultures, worldviews, and sovereignty. Even our biologist colleagues have updated evolution slogan. It's not survival of the fittest, it's survival of the sharers. Cooperation is what got us here. So as you participate in today's conversations and sessions, I invite you to connect them to your own experiences of cooperation. For me, I am grateful for the cooperation within my Vietnamese refugee community, among people who were the first to live in America. The cooperation to survive war and resettlement, to take care of each other and each other's children, to create jobs, to ensure shelter and a new home, making it so my generation and the ones after can thrive. The particular histories and cultures of each of our communities are different, all lending to the glorious diversity of being human. But a through line, what we all of our cultures hold in common, is the spirit and practice of cooperation. And that's because cooperation is normal. We do it all the time, but it is rarely named. It would be like saying, I'm breathing now, I'm breathing now, I'm breathing now. The mantra we hear instead is the incessant one that tells us that individualism, capitalism, competition is normal. They are not normal. They have been normalized. Normalized and then institutionalized through policies, subsidies, education programs, and media stories that valorize and sensationalize capitalism as a survival strategy. Compete, win, buy, repeat. But I don't buy it. The story of capitalism is new. The story of cooperation is ancient. So let us tell our old and collective stories. Let's divest from individualism and capitalism that turns neighbors into competitors, communities into arenas of combat. Today, you can meet people and hear stories of how they are formalizing cooperation in how to grow, distribute, and share food as cooperative businesses and policies. Let us listen, learn, share, and strategize. Together, we can create an ecosystem where cooperatives thrive, where we can live our values and visions, and everyone is both participant and beneficiary. So cooperation got us here, and cooperatives will get us there. I look forward to going there with you. Thank you.
Somehow, I always have to follow these lovely, amazing people. But I'm going to bring you the fun stuff because we're very close to leaving breakfast and going into our sessions. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Oporto. I am the Community Building Director at the Alliance. I see so many familiar faces that I love and so many new ones, which brings me even more joy. Thank you, Mai, for really just, I think, bringing this morning together. I had so many things written down here, but I can't even focus on them because all I'm thinking about is how are we going to move from this space into this next space and actually practice what we were just talking about. So one more round, if we could give another round of love for Mai, wherever you went. And in the spirit of cultivating cooperation between us and living into our values of community care, I'm here to spend a little time kind of setting our foundation and creating a container or safe space or brave space, whatever you want to call it today, for the day. And so first, I would love to go over some community agreements with you, and I'll need a little help reading these. So if I know you, I'm sorry, because you will get picked on right now. In your program, you will find the community agreements, so you can follow along if you'd like. Thank you. When you find a page, shout it out. Page number. The end? 66, I hear? All right. You'll get to it. These community agreements are so important to starting the day for us, and they're just a start. So if you have other agreements that you like to share or think about or move into a space with, I invite you to think through those as well. So I'll start with a few, and then I'm going to pass a few around for folks to share as well so we can hear some other voices today. So one community agreement is adopt both and. Adopt an abundance mindset. See that multiple truths and voices do exist. This is a good one. Practice self-focus. I will be practicing that today. Let's see, maybe I'll try a new face.
Practice move up, move back. Be mindful of your style to create more equitable participation.
Thank you. Practice mindful listening.
Understand the difference between intent and impact.
Thank you. Be vulnerable. That can be a hard one, huh? All right, who else over here? I don't know how far I'm allowed to go with this mic, to be honest with you.
Refrain from blaming or shaming self and others. Recognize structural issues.
We got a 2-for-1 there. All right, establish and use shared language. Recognize that there are other realities. Who's not at the table?
All right. Perfect for me. Be present.
Try it on. Step outside your comfort zone.
Which I think a lot of us have done this morning, I know. Everyone has the right to pass. Do you want to pass, Chris?
¿Cómo se dice en español? Respeta la confidencialidad.
Gracias. Respect confidentiality, if you needed a translation there. Laugh at jokes. And tell jokes today.
Be bold with ideas.
Beautiful. And I'll take the last one. Ask questions and be curious. Do we have any other ones you want to shout out? So I just had you listen, read, share, but I also want us to all agree on these community agreements. That's part of the practice. And so please take a moment to decide if you want to shout a word, get up and shake a little, make a sound, what feels good to you right now. And I would love first to look around. I'm going to ask you to make eye contact with people. Look around and make eye contact with at least 2 people, acknowledging these agreements. Thank you. Wow. That went really well. Okay, and now make some noise. Do you affirm these agreements? Thank you, thank you. Thank you all for that energy and presence today. I think it's, really important that we are caring for each other physically in this space, but also spiritually and emotionally. On that important note, there are a lot of people here today. It's a lot of people, huh? 500? I don't know. We might have 500 people here right now. That's a lot of people for a lot of us. Yeah. So think for a moment, what can you do to care for yourself today? What can you do to care for those that are around you during the day? Maybe it's something as simple as washing your hands more frequently today. Asking if someone wants a hug before you hug them. Taking a deep breath before you speak. Or just saying hello. Thanking some of our center staff that are around, who I know were here very late last night. And simply sharing a smile or a hug. These are all ways we can care for each other today. I also want to acknowledge that when we do gather in larger groups and bring this many people together, we have a lot of folks who know each other and a lot of folks who don't know each other. And so tensions can happen. We're also talking about sometimes heavy stuff, right? We're, as we say sometimes, trying to solve the world's problems after just a long day in the office. And so really just want to acknowledge that, these moments of tension or what you might consider conflict can be seen as an opportunity. And if you feel like digging more into this and really shifting your own perspective on how you view tensions and conflict, I'm plugging a session here, by the way. Please join our conflict resilience session with our lovely friends, Tamala and Simon, who've come in to share that space today. Because I think there's an opportunity for us to all start to shift how we view those tensions and conflict. All right, I'm coming to the end because I think I talk a lot and I'm over on time. So while we are ready to get this day started, and before we close out and hear from our Naruwan taiko drummers again, we want to take a moment to thank you all. We are grateful for every single person that made this day possible, from staff to partners to vendors nourishing us, and for this venue and space for supporting us. We'd also like to thank our sponsors and those that contributed resources to making this day happen. Please hold your applause. I think you will. So thank you all. Builders Initiative, Dr. Bronner's, Feeding San Diego, Jacobs and Cushman San Diego Food Bank, San Diego Foundation, Sharp Health Plan, California Air Resources Board, Good Roots, go learn at their booth who that might be, International Community Foundation, Mission Fed, North County Philanthropy Council, Self-Help Credit Union, City of Escondido, EDCO, Healthy Day Partners, and Pure Project. We also have many elected official offices here today and tribal leadership represented. So I want to thank you as well for being part of this community and showing up for us today. Today we're joined by representatives from San Diego County Board of Supervisor offices, Supervisor Montgomery Stepp, Lyle, thank you for being here. Mariko from Supervisor Joel Anderson's office. We also are joined from team members from San Diego City Council of Council President Pro Tem Joe LaCava and Council Member Vivian Moreno. And lastly, we're joined from Office of Council Member Eric Joyce, Oceanside City Council. And last but not least, Chairman Wendy Schlater of the La Jolla Band of Luiseño Indians. Thank you all for being here. Now you can pause. Okay, and last but not certainly least, we are endlessly grateful for each of you here today. This is our collective space, and it literally could not exist without you. I can already feel all the love and joy from the smiling faces, and I'm truly honored that I get to be part of your day of making this happen. So let's keep the energy going for the day. and sort of on time. And before we go, let's enjoy one more performance from Narwan Taiko drummers. I would encourage you to stand this time, move a little, shake a little, and we'll be heading to our sessions after that. All right?